Welcome back to Witness Stories. So this one is another of my past lives. I think these are only useful to somebody else so you can kind of see how what a past life affected, how it might affect your life by seeing how it affected my life. And also, how I acquired the past life. So you can do your own experimentation by doing that, and maybe you'll get a similar, as deep a result as I got. Anyway, this is called Women of the Cross, and I should say previously I had held hands with my dad and did some thought forming to see what we could. That was in a previous video. That story was very interesting, but now I wanted to know, this was done in 1970s, so not too long after my investigation with my father. But in the 70s, now I wanted to know if my mom and I also had one. Quite often the family members that you have in this lifetime, you have had many lifetimes with them before. So, your superconscious will pick out the best one for your purposes. Mine was so I can see a thought-provoking past life. Anyway, in the 70s, I was very close to my mom back when she was alive. I'd say she was my rock. And I can say, other than being a great mother, I now know other reasons why I'm very connected to her. So we did the hand holding and sat back and did the thought forming, which is just leaving your mind open to see what comes forward. You set your intention of what you wanted, which is a past life with your mother, or with whatever person you want to do that with. So as I sat there, then after a few moments or a while, I don't know how long, the first vision I had was of a woman in a very long black robe, like a priest in early Russia might wear. But she was indeed a woman. As I focused on this image, many other things simply became known to me. Of course, she was me. She was a woman who pushed all the boundaries of her time and became an actual priest. This is the first past life regression that I had where I was a woman. So I'm normally a man. I seem to be a male type oriented spirit, but in this case, I was a woman. And she was not thin, but not fat, just in the middle. At the point I was seeing her, she was at that point, I'd say 35, probably in those times, 35 or 40, somewhere in there. And around her neck was a heavy chain and a large cross. She had this thoughts just came to me after that. She had fought her way to the position she was in. She knew many things from her learning that also included knowledge from their secret schools. Even then, the common people were problematic when too much information makes them afraid. So secret schools inside of your religion have always existed, embedded in all religions. The only strong information I have about that is that it made her a lot less comfortable with what people thought they knew and the intertwined politics of the social and civil environment. It could be problematic. Even in her respected position, she was a forceful leader, but also an undercover rebel. Imagine a female priest in a man's world. Yeah, a rebel. But a respected one. At some point, she managed to have a child. And this ended up challenging everything in her world. I knew this child back then was my current mother in this lifetime. But at that time, the fact of her as a daughter of a female priest was kept secret. And she was kept partly away from me raised by a group of people, but nearby. And the child did possess some natural psychic talents. It was a very rigid and unbending culture where fixed ideas limited what creativity and behavior people were allowed. And as her daughter was very creative and intuitive, this caused issues. She loved her even more. I felt that was a gift. She had gifts from God that maybe other people didn't understand. Especially was adoring of her because of not being able to raise her. I longed to be able to be with her and take care of her. And the fact of her and how she was taught me so very much about how people promoted their own power and interest through the institution, from manipulating the institutions. And out of political or social control, children like hers were very regularly suppressed. I, as the priest woman, felt like my own religion tried to suppress and crush her spirit, never giving her a chance to develop fully. And of course, the rest of the common religion and institution there probably wasn't fully aware of the extent of the secret schools. And that is all I could get from that one vision session. In this current lifetime, I'm very careful about political motivations and suspicions about how institutions maintain their customs and expectations. In particular, about the propensity to go back on the meaning and intent of their own belief system in exchange for all the desires of the powerful or of the fearful. All of that can lose sight of the purpose of truth. And indeed, in this current lifetime, when my mother was alive, she was also intuitive and could hear her guides talk to her once in a while. So this interesting how the past parallels the current with just a juxtaposition of who is the parent and who is the child. Very interesting.